After consulting top doctors, nutritionists, pharmacists, and others, we have developed what I believe is the ultimate non-GMO organic Super Male Vitality formula. Super Male Vitality by InfoWars Life is so powerful that I only take half the recommended dose.
I jump out of bed ready to fight these criminals every day. I look forward to waking up and taking my Super Male Vitality.
Visit InfoWarsLife.com today to secure your Super Male Vitality and other powerful products from InfoWars Life. Tell folks how you got introduced to Super Male, and then when Super Female came out, tell us what happened.
After I saw such a huge positive change in my husband, I had to try it for myself.
Talk about the effects.
I feel great when I wake up in the morning. I have drive to go to the gym. I feel like I look better. I feel better. I feel sexier. I love it.
Even if you don't believe in supplements, take the challenge. Get a bottle of Super Male, a bottle of Super Female. Check it out for yourself. Consult your physician. Visit InfoWarsLife.com today. This is life-changing.
Using unparalleled research in the development of a synergistic formulation based around the key concepts of super oxygenation, the next level in cleansing is here. With key ingredients backed by real clinical studies, the new Oxy Powder, available through InfoWars Life, was invented during Dr. Group's research on the toxification of our bodies. Many herbal colon cleansers are harsh on the body and contain cheap and potentially dangerous ingredients, oftentimes full of synthetic fillers, GMOs, additives, or worse. Gently start cleaning your body with easy capsules that start working while you sleep. Oxy Powder does not require time off work, and there's no need for bad-tasting concoctions. Instead, Oxy Powder slowly releases monoatomic oxygen into the intestinal tract and body. Experience the astonishing cleansing power of superoxide and ozonide technology. Go to InfoWarsLife.com or InfoWarsStore.com to get started with Oxy Powder, or call 1-888-253-3139.
In the near future.
When you realize how fake it all is, the football, the basketball.
Alert. Security alert. This is Homeland Security. Analysis. InfoWars building independent media operation.
We let the worst people get control and tell us that we are the ones responsible.
Prime directive. Discredit Alex Jones.
Jones is the wildly popular conspiracy theorist.
A popular conspiracy theory talk show called InfoWars.
Alex Jones is now in an Austin jail.
These people are assaulting us.
Targeting of patriots engaged.
They are never going to stop. They're never going to deviate from their program until we stop them.
Block free iPhone app at Infowars.com. Block free podcast and video feed. Imperative. Destroy Prison Planet TV.
You gotta set your eye on the enemy, not worry about what propaganda they put out. Intellectually, it's begun. You can feel it.
I would stand in line for this. There's always room in life for this. Oh, baby. Oh, baby. Then it fell apart.
You're listening to InfoWars because there's a war on for your mind. I'm your host, Alex Jones. We're here Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. Central. Back weeknights, 7 o'clock Central with InfoWars Nightly News with our incredible news team of reporters and researchers. And don't forget the Sunday show live, 4 to 6 p.m. Central. I'll be live next Sunday. David Knight was live this Sunday. Folks have probably noticed I've been missing a day here, missing a day there. I've had some family illness issues with my grandmother. Been helping take care of her with my parents. She's 89. And I've been dealing with that and some life transition things with her and a bunch of other family stuff. It seems to come in waves. You'll have more stuff go wrong with your family in a year and happens in 10. And then you'll have more good stuff happen in a year that happens in 20. It's one of those times, best of times, worst of times. But thank God we've got David Knight who can do just as good a job or better than I. And Paul Watson's here visiting us from England and the rest of the amazing crew. This radio crew is the best I've ever had by leaps and bounds. Just the whole operation, I thank God for them all. And I'm humbled to be here, humbled to have our sponsors, humbled to have our affiliates, humbled to have our just wonderful, wonderful listeners that are not just listeners, that are activists for freedom. I burn with a desire for all my foibles and all my warts to not be a slave and to not like to see con artists hurting innocent people. I just don't like bullies. And the New World Order, Luciferian trash are just cosmic con artists. That's what my grandfather would always call. He'd go, you know, Satan's a con artist, a cosmic con artist who's conned all his people, that he's going to save them. So that's the thing. People, they don't think the devil's going to lose, folks. And meanwhile, they want to convince you it doesn't even exist, so you're not even in the ball game. They win by default. I don't want to go off and start preaching. We're going to go back to Joel to finish up his 2016 points. Then we're going to go right to your phone calls. Again, John in Oklahoma, listening on KZLS, will be first here in just a moment. But first off, we have the proprietary Super Nascent Iodine that doesn't have the alcohol or other fillers that taste so horrible. Turns bright blue on paper, not black or red, because it's real iodine. From the 99.999 crystals from multi-million-year-old ancient crystal deposits, 7 to 12,000 feet under the ground. It literally, when we manufacture it on a hot plate, it's manufactured in a big facility, but if you put a crystal in a Petri dish or a beaker and heat it up past 90 degrees, it turns into purple gas. This just goes through your body, and basically your whole body operates on it. The globalists are obsessed with it. They don't want you to know about it. It's changed my life health-wise, what it's done for my thyroid, my blood, my energy, detoxing, immune system. And we've never done this because it's our best seller, but Anthony had the idea. He said, listen, let's make it even more affordable. It's double the strength, half the cost of leading competitors that aren't even the real Nascent Iodine. Survival Shield X2, 5% off with promo code NOW. NOW at checkout, 5% off with promo code NOW. You can also get perpetually 10% off on all the Pro Pure G2 stainless steel gravity-fed filtration systems that blow away the competition side by side. We have all the scientific tests and videos and mainline labs and all the test results side by side with leading competitors at InfoWarsStore.com, InfoWarsLife.com. We have the lung cleanse. We have so many other great products at InfoWarsLife.com or InfoWarsStore.com or 888-253-3139. And don't forget, we have the film I produced with Joel Skousen, Strategic Relocation, almost 3 hours. And then it integrates in with the color book. It's like a big coffee table book, just jam-packed with data, Strategic Relocation, the book, and the Secure Home 3rd edition, the latest that's out as well by Joel Skousen, the worldwide top consultant on secure homes, to the elite, you name it, he's the expert, and we've got the film and the 2 books available, discounted at InfoWarsStore.com. And it's just good to start thinking about this stuff. Start out with the book, the video, mull it around in your brain, and just think about it. That's what I've been doing, and I've made a lot of preparations. Some solar, a well, a wall, the firearms, not because I'm living in fear, but because I'm trying to live prepared like all my ancestors did. Everybody canned food. Everybody knew how to be self-sufficient, or you were a loser. Now almost no one knows how. Well, you can at least have water filtration and food and know how to defend it. Because the plan is to incrementally collapse the society. The plan is to force you into the cities for a reason. Now, going back to Joel, and I want to get to calls. Again, thank you for spending so much time with us, Joel. The website's worldaffairsbrief.com. He's the editor-in-chief there. Finishing up on what you see in 2016, then I want to go to calls.
Well, they always start out trying to give us a phony Republican, like they started out with Rudolph Giuliani, a cross-dresser, globalist involved in 9/11. The conservatives would have none of them, and so they resurrected McCain in 2008 just out of nowhere in order to stop Mitt Romney from getting into the position. 6 Democratic newspapers endorsing John McCain. And then, of course, in 2008, they couldn't stop Mitt Romney, so they had to pull about 8 million to 10 million votes in order to defeat him. I mean, here's a guy who was bending over backwards to please the establishment, ignorant about conspiracy, and yet they still didn't want him in the White House because they didn't have dirt on him. They couldn't control him. That's the same thing that's going to happen to Rand Paul coming up. They can't allow him to be into the White House, no matter how much he bends over backwards to say Republicans need to reach out to Hispanics and to blacks and to every other minority. He's really trying to compromise to get ahead so that he can avoid what happened to his father. It won't do any good.
They've got his phones tapped. They know he's real.
Well, that's right. But what I'm saying is that he's not going to get in. He's going to be the man to beat, I predict. But the fact that Mitt Romney is surging back into popularity shows that nobody's enthused about Jeb Bush or Marco Rubio yet. We're going to see a litany or a progression of them throwing us prospective candidates with push polling. You know, it's just like in the last election. They had 5 people coming up one after another, whether it was Santorum or Newt Gingrich or the rest, that they said, oh, suddenly surging 40% into the poll. It was falsified. When they would collapse in the next primary, they'd surge another person like Herman Cain. He would collapse. They'd surge Santorum again. We're going to see that same thing again. They'll keep trying candidates until they find somebody that will stick with the community to beat Hillary Clinton.
What would they do if a Rand Paul really got in?
Well, boy, I tell you, that would be tough. I don't think that's even a possibility just because they control votes at the national level now. State votes are counted at the national level, and they can simply eliminate as many millions of votes as they want electronically.
That's right. VNS has been merged into another shadowy group, all secretive. They do compile them all at the federal level.
And nobody can trace it. But I think if you had somebody like Rand Paul, who's very strong-minded, who is trying to compromise, but he would be a pretty strong libertarian president once he's in, they'd have to assassinate him probably to control him, because otherwise it's quite difficult.
Yeah, I've known Rand Paul since 1996. He is for real. He is compromising on a lot of fronts, but he's pro-Second Amendment, pro-sovereignty. He's done a lot of good things. What do you think of the Texas Senator, Ted Cruz?
Well, Ted Cruz has said a lot of things. You know, his wife is tied to, you know, some of the big banks.
Goldman Sachs.
Yeah, Goldman Sachs. I don't think he has enough gravitas. He's certainly not savvy enough about the conspiracy to really do us some damage or do some damage to them. But he is a force to be contended with. Mike Lee's also a lightweight. His father, Rex Lee, the Solicitor General, was a pretty good compromiser, pretty bad compromiser in terms of not sustaining the Constitution when he was Solicitor General.
Sure, but he was good at compromising, which is bad. I get your point. Yeah. I think we focus so much on presidential runs, though. What about taking back counties and cities? That's where I've seen where we can have a real effect. Look at Agenda 21. Just by people realizing there's a conspiracy, it's turned a lot of it back.
Yeah, I'm in complete agreement. I really don't think they're going to let us control the national election ever again, nor congressional elections, except by a fluke here and there. But it's at the local level, both local legislators and county commissioners, where we can sustain constitutional sheriffs. That's another area that we really need to make sure we get principled sheriffs into office there. They're the last line of defense towards protecting our free rights. And you and I are going to need those someday. When the SWAT teams show up at our doors, we need friends to be able to call a sheriff to say, back off, feds. You don't have jurisdiction here.
Well, we're seeing that more and more, even in big cities in Texas, where the county sheriffs and judges are saying we're not going to go along with the gun confiscation and have ordered the sheriff's department to resist it. That's not radical. That's default position that would stop all this. I want to go to calls. One final point. In my gut, or my spirit, I feel like if we educated enough people about the true nature of the conspiracy, which is so public now, where, you know, Warren Buffett and Ted Turner and Bill Gates all get caught meeting secretly to discuss life extension technology and world population reduction. ABC News, London Guardian 5 years ago. A few months ago, Peter Thiel, the billionaire Bilderberger, says, I want to live forever. There it is, Peter Thiel, the billionaire tech entrepreneur on a mission to cheat death. When you get to the bottom of the rabbit hole, they all believe they're going to transcend humanity, that it's about to happen. They're going to accept a robot computer takeover. I mean, I say this fiction-based, but it's like aliens from the fourth dimension are speaking to these people, convincing them to build a technological kill grid that will reduce the world population, and they're telling them they're going to get eternal life out of it. That sounds like a science fiction plot from a horror movie or something. And now they're very public about it. 15 years ago, when I was reading their internal writings or more scholarly documents, that's all they talked about. But now, Joel, they're so public about it's the end of humanity. It's an evolution. We're going to transcend. We're going to get rid of almost everybody, and only a tiny group will live forever. And you've now got kind of the scientific elite for the first time embracing, through revelation of the method, the externalization of the hierarchy. and actually saying, we want to join you and live forever. So I'm seeing a decompartmentalization from the top level into the mid-level and into pop culture, even if it's at a subconscious level. Why do you think they're being so public now about their